Good morning, good day, everybody. It's the 19th of June. I'm Joey Only here in Wells, British Columbia. This is your look at the weather this week. So, we are expecting a bit of a warm up in BC, short-lived, temporary one, and it's coming a little sooner. A little forecast change for you. So we will see Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think more and more the warm days that are coming ahead, but it won't last very long. That's the unfortunate problem. We'll talk about that. Why won't the weather get nice in BC? Or starting to look like a typical La Nina setup is really starting to happen. This is bad news.
This is bad news. My God.
Falling out right now.
Anything could happen.
Wow. I'll watch the video later.
Feel the heat. I need more knives. I need water.
Ain't dry mopping this.
Is a La Nina actually bad news? I don't know. I just say things. This pale blue dot, this everything that's ever been cooked for supper has happened right here on planet Earth for us humans. So this is planet Earth, as you can see. So very hot right now. Eastern Canada, as well as United States, have been just baking. Okay, so we're looking at places that might be getting 35 to 40 degree temperatures if you go, later on in the afternoon at some of these locations, especially through California, Mexico, and Texas, things like that. But 35 degrees. For example, out in Nova Scotia today, they're not used to seeing that. You have the nice moderating effects of the ocean usually. So we look at the model images and we get a nice little break right there. That little gap in the jet stream allows some warmth to come in, and then the door gets shut by that storm that we were talking about the other day. So my last forecast video, we were thinking that Sunday might be a day of thunderstorms as we transition out of this. That seems to be sort of changing now, looking ahead. Seems like Sunday won't be as warm as we once thought it was either, that this sort of storm will start crashing in. So the timing isn't lining up for necessarily a widespread thunderstorm outbreak, I don't think, right now. But we'll look a little deeper, at least not the widespread outlook that seemed to be. But I mean, again, on Monday when I made my forecast video, it was like pretty clear to you. I try to say like, wow, this is 7 days in advance, things will change, right? This just gives us an idea of how things are more or less moving. And, and the large picture still stays the same if we think about that forecast I made last time. This storm that forms off here in the Gulf of Alaska, its exact behavior, maybe the exact timing, maybe a little different, but more or less, that's the same image. So we look at this heat at 4 o'clock today. Extreme down there, Mexico, extreme. And it's going to get hotter. It's going to get hotter yet. This is sort of the kickoff of yet another round of extreme heat in the United States. Look at that, 43s down there on Thursday. So you can see a little bit of the heat starting to build up. Main target still Fort Nelson area, 25 degrees Celsius. Look at this up in Alaska, nice and warm. I mean, they're going to get long days of sunshine right now. So that is part of the story, but still, you don't expect to see Alaska being as warm or warmer than the Okanagan, for example, right? So that is weird. But we will see that kind of change this week when we come into Friday. And you look at, there's a bit of a warmer spell coming into central interior, 25s maybe. And if you go up to Fort Nelson area, again, still very warm up there. And you look down to Mexico, extreme. And you go look down here, that would be Ohio, 35 degrees Celsius. Very extreme heat going on. Now let's have a look at what happens when we go up in the atmosphere. Look at that, 600 meters, not a whole lot of change. At 750 meters, that's 2,500 feet, 3,000 feet above sea level. Okay, so things that then you can see now, like, well, we're at 4,000 feet here in Wells, so you can imagine that it's a little warmer in Quesnel than we expect to see in the mountains. That's fairly typical, right? We go up a little higher, 1,500 meters. That's why we have a heat dome basically down there in the United States, because as you go higher and higher up in the atmosphere, you still keep finding that heat. It's not disappearing as you go higher easily. I get to 6,400 feet, and now you'll start to see that heat taper off. Okay, here's what we're starting to look at, 3,000 meters. So now we're looking at 10,000 foot mountains, and we're going to start seeing, well, look at it, there's a lot of cold air up in the air there in Canada. Okay, well, that's cool. 5,500 meters. So now we're well above the tallest mountains in British Columbia. 4,000 meters would be some of the tallest ones, right? Like Robson. So now you can see where this low is. You can see how it's pulling cold air in. You can see how on Friday afternoon, even though if it's warm in BC, go up to 15,000 to 20,000 feet in that sort of range. There's 500 HPA, hectopascal, so that's 500. That would tell you that's above the jet stream area, so 18,000 feet to 22,000 feet, something like that. Go up a little higher, you really see it's a tale of two temperatures. He's definitely right. It's go the upper levels in Canada, and this is why we've been having so many thunderstorms that are so crazy and violent. This is why we've been having tornado behavior in BC. combination of cold air above and then jet stream as well. And the cold air is, and you're going to see the jet stream is going to follow this cold air. And this is kind of the point I'm trying to make here. And we go up to, that's 11 kilometers. Well, let's go to the very top now. Let's go up to the tropopause, where once you get high enough up, it actually starts to warm up, right? So when you get, troposphere is much warmer than our atmosphere right above us. So you can see that warming up as you go up towards the troposphere. And you can kind of do the same thing looking at the winds and start going up higher, and we'll see where are these winds, where are they going. You start to see the low really turning up, start to see the winds that are hooking into that. We get up to that 500 hectopascal area, see the jet stream turning up. There it is, right? We'll go just a little further up. We'll go 10 kilometers ahead of us, on top of us, 10,000 meters on top of us, and you can really see where the jet stream is. You can really see how it's blocking. It's like it's a tale of two continents, right? So the jet stream is really doing its part to block the heat from screaming into much of Western Canada. And today out west, we still have this continuing pattern of very strong thunderstorms up into... Fuck off, telephone. I'm trying to record a video. I actually hate the phone. I don't answer it. So those of you who know me know to send me a message or just stop at the house. Hey, how's it going? Because I could care less about whoever's calling most of the time. If I don't know you're calling, then I'm like, it's probably the government or some scammer. Okay, so strong thunderstorms in the Yukon again, Alaska. Continues on northern BC. The Caribou getting a real break today as we expected. Down southern BC maybe a little. So I'm not thinking anything too severe down south. Most of the action's probably going to be in the north. We got a little change on the forecast on Thursday from what I saw yesterday. So a little more risk of thunderstorms in southern BC. This looks pretty much the same though as I saw yesterday, and that's a very strong thunderstorm pattern moving in. Again, this is from Northwest Territories. That's from Yellowknife right down to Fort Nelson, down to Fort St. John, and then the wilderness. Friday again, there's a little change from what we saw last time. We see some of these thunderstorms are moving up on a northward bounce. So then Saturday again, the north, just getting it consistently. But we might have a chance on Saturday for the Caribou, Prince George, areas like that, Williams Lake, Quesnel, Vanderhoof. Some of us may see some storms, and they may go in through the night. It looks like so we're seeing a possibility of a good nighttime thunderstorm. Maybe in Prince George on Saturday night, Sunday morning. So that's kind of some of the changes that we've seen show up in the forecast models in the last few days. And here's Sunday. We're looking at really exploding in Alberta for thunderstorm behavior, right? And us kind of getting the pass. The timing we were saying last time, we were waiting for the timing to line up. The timing is not lining up necessarily for BC to get that big outbreak of thunderstorms on Sunday we thought we are going to get. It looks like Alberta will be getting it. But again, you can see with this that the forecast is more or less accurate. It's just the timing has shifted, right? So, but you look at the picture, it's like, well, things are still doing what we thought they would do. It's just, trying to nail it down to an exact second. That's very difficult to do. And we may see thunderstorms again by next week, Wednesday, the 26th of July. But that's a ways out, so we won't guess much on that. And then just looking today, British Columbia, that north area, that could include Fort Nelson, could see some severe thunderstorm potential up there, could see some hail, could see some good bursts of rain, maybe some strong winds. So thunderstorms that develop up there could be interesting. Maybe some strong thunderstorms along the coast. We could even see Vancouver Island today getting some lightning as well, the coast mountain ranges. So southern BC, maybe more the target. Looks like us in the Prince George, Caribou region get a bit of a break for a change. That's real nice. Out in the prairies, very low compared to how much severe weather they've been having lately. So just a small section of southeastern section of the prairies today. Wow, the Northwest Territories is looking at very strong thunderstorms. I mean, this is not what I used to ever see looking at weather in Canada. I've never seen this shit consistently happening day after day, week after week. But in the last number of years, it's become more prevalent to becoming an established pattern, to becoming expect thunderstorms to do up there what they do everywhere else now. So you try to tell me climate change isn't happening. And if I hear one more person blame the bad weather on the government or HARP or weather manipulation and bullshit like that, I'm going to fucking lose my mind, because you will say anything it takes to deny that anthropogenic climate change is happening. That it's very simple. We've known since the 1850s that carbon traps and stores and transports heat. We've known that for a long time. And there you say, well, it's actually, no, that's not true. It's HARP. You don't even know what HARP is. Shut the fuck up. So last look at Canada. It looks like this today. What's this? A severe thunderstorm watch in northern Quebec. And then all through Ontario, heat warning, 35 to 30, 35. Values exceeding 40 for on the heat humidex. Go to Nova Scotia, even looking at 33. Nova Scotia doesn't get that kind of hot too often. And heat warning in northern Newfoundland. How often you seen that? That's different. Okay, heat warning in northern Ontario. Sure. Okay, it's 40 degrees humidex in northern Ontario. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nothing weird is going on at all. So that's just our brief look on the 19th of June, kind of updating this week's forecast and just looking at why BC refuses to stay nice. Okay, well, that's all I got for today. Take care, stay safe, have a good week, subscribe, hit like, share, thank you, tell a friend, and send me your money, and come wash my dishes, and yeah, bye for now.